water on top of water on top of water with no place to go.
It just inundated the city.
We haven't had this kind of devastation since 1964.
Getting into the city of Live Oak was very difficult. Many of the roads that we needed to use to get into the city were washed out or under 4 to 6 feet of water. We finally found a dirt road that got us into the city, and we immediately went to the Emergency Operations Center, and they put us to work right away. The first distress call that has come in is a very young boy who needs to get to a hospital. We're following a police officer right now who is guiding us into an apartment complex. We didn't have much information except that the apartment complex was surrounded by water up to 8 feet deep. We decided the best way to access the apartment complex was to launch our hovercraft through a flooded construction site. So we just flew our hovercraft right up to where the water stopped. Now we're going to go in on foot. What we need to do is we need to get this young boy, get him in our hovercraft, and get into the ambulance so we can get to the hospital. Since you're going to be going in water, we'll put a helmet on you and the baby, and a life preserver on the baby and you as well. And then the ambulance will be waiting for us as soon as we reach dry land. Once we found the baby, it was a very delicate situation. I wasn't sure how sick the baby was.
Today he's just been real fuzzy. He's been running a fever, 102.7. Launching a hovercraft into the darkness, into floodwaters that we can't even see ourselves. It's a very challenging situation. These guys here will take care of you. When the young mother with the 1-year-old baby turned and began to walk away from us towards the ambulance, the baby looked back at me, and I knew that all the challenges we faced was worth it. The next morning, we responded to a 911 call to rescue a couple that was trapped in their home. So all we know right now is there's 2 elderly folks in there that are in need of medical attention.
When we first got there, we were told they were standing in water, which is always a bad situation.
It was very difficult to figure out actually how to get to this home because there was no driveways to follow. Everything was under 8 feet of water.
You should be able to go in here, pull in, and pull right in front of their yard.
There's always a little bit of concern going into a situation like that. You have to go based off of somebody's word of the area you're going into. As we launched our hovercraft and began flying towards the direction of the home, we were in the middle of a beautiful vineyard. I began to realize they must be so devastated to see all that they've worked hard for their whole lives completely destroyed by these floodwaters. The husband and wife were waiting for us on the front porch. It's amazing to me to see the fortitude of these people who lose so much. I really believe that in the worst of times, the best of humanity comes out.
Thank you so much for doing this.
You're welcome.
We've never done this before. Our house has always been okay.
It will be again someday. When a community goes through such a terrible situation like this, and they see lives being saved, it gives them hope that they're going to make it and things are going to get better. One of the unique dangers of working around Live Oak were deadly predators who may have been flushed into the floodwaters.
Better watch out. You could run into anything. I've seen gators in the Swanee River 12 feet long.
Gators were very much in our mind when we responded to a 911 call to check out a tractor trailer that was submerged under 15 feet of water. We didn't know if the driver had escaped or if it was still filled with cattle. Standing on the roof of the vehicle, we used our underwater camera to check out the cab and trailer, knowing one wrong move could drop us into the water where we may face unwelcome wildlife. Okay, I have a view of the steering wheel. Good, we should be clear. No one should be in this truck. After about an hour, we completed our search. Fortunately, the driver had escaped before the vehicle was swamped, and the trailer was empty of livestock. Getting back into the sheriff's boat was a relief. Because the flood that happened in Live Oak wasn't simply because of rivers rising, there really wasn't anywhere for this water to go. The only way to get rid of it was to pump it. All the team members were working in shifts, so those water pumps were running day and night. Removing water from this community is vitally important, not only so people can get around, but so that homeowners can return back to their homes.
The last few days have been completely exhausting. The team has had very little sleep, and the thing that keeps us going is the fact that we know people need our help.